Bruce Jenner was involved in a 4-car crash that killed one woman and injured several others in Malibu.
I wish they would be more strict with it.
California's new gun law gives courts the ability to issue temporary gun violence restraining orders to those at risk for committing violent crimes. Reproductions of 2 tall ships are traveling down the coast of California, stopping at ports to teach people what life at sea was like in the 1800s.
This is Valley View News.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Courtney Williams.
And I'm Ken Harvey. California has a new law it hopes will help stop school shootings. Valley View's Ashley Goosen reports the law will try to keep firearms away from those deemed mentally unstable.
Virginia Tech, Sandy Hook, Isla Vista, and Columbine, just some of the deadliest school massacres to ever occur in the United States. Despite increased security and surveillance on school campuses, the amount of school shootings in the United States is on the rise. Cue California Bill 1014, new legislation as of January 1st that allows someone to get a court-ordered gun restraining order for people perceived as a danger not only to themselves, but to others. Danny Charrier, an employee of a Southern California training and security company, believes that enforcing stricter gun laws isn't always the best idea.
There's going to be 2 sides to every story, and the same thing goes with almost every other gun bill. A lot of people think that guns are the issue, and it's really not the issue, it's the person. So as far as taking away somebody's Second Amendment rights because of something they did, as long as that remains an individual issue for that case, that's not as big of a deal as when they're trying to take it away from everybody.
A survey by Mother Jones found that at least 38 of the 61 mass shooters in the past 30 years showed signs of mental health problems prior to the shootings. It may be statistics like this that are encouraging some students to support gun laws.
I like that they're imposing more gun laws, actually, and I wish they would be more strict with it.
One question that seems to have influenced legislatures on their decision of whether or not to pass the bill is, would those mass shootings have happened, like the one in Newtown, Connecticut, or in Isla Vista, if this bill had already existed? In Northridge, Ashley Goosen, Valley View News.
China has executed a mining tycoon along with his brother. They were found guilty of running organized crime operations. Chinese authorities say the Hans brothers began running gambling sessions in their basement in the early 1990s. The Hans were linked by state media to an official who was a major target of China's anti-corruption campaign.
North Korea has tested a new anti-ship missile. The test firing of 5 of the short-range missiles took place off the coast. North Korean media reported Kim Jong-un was satisfied with what is believed to be the highest-level weapon developed in North Korea. Some analysts say the missile appears similar to Russian designs. The test came just weeks before the U.S. and South Korea meet for joint military exercises.
ISIS says the American hostage Kayla Mueller was killed by a Jordanian airstrike. An ISIS tweet shows the collapsed building in which the American aid worker was being held. There was no further evidence confirming the death of the 26-year-old woman. National Security Advisor Susan Rice says the Obama administration's policy is to neutralize terrorist groups.
We have assembled a broad coalition that is confronting this scourge from all angles.
CSUN is making great efforts on a daily basis by local law enforcement to keep people from falling victim to crime. Valley View News reporter Julio Huerta has some helpful tips on how to stay safe on campus.
An estimated 40,000 students attend Cal State Northridge. According to the latest crime statistics on the Clary Security Report, available on the CSUN Police Department's website, the most common crime committed on campus is theft. In fact, crime can happen to anybody at any time and anywhere.
Oh, have you ever been a victim of crime?
Yeah, my wallet was stolen on my backpack, actually.
Here on campus?
Yeah, at the library.
To avoid being victims of crime, students and staff share some of their safety practices.
I always make sure to go with more than 4 people.
Don't park too far.
I keep one headphone in at all times instead of 2, so I know I'm aware of my surroundings.
I usually will park, make sure it's well lit where I'm parked, take a buddy with me maybe to walk to my car.
Well, I don't really have that many belongings in my car. It's just like if I have a book out there, I'll cover it with like a cardboard.
Unfortunately, I was not able to get an on-camera interview with the public information officer or any officer at the CSUN Police Department right behind me before my deadline. However, I was able to talk to an LAPD officer at the Devonshire Police Station, which is the closest one to campus.
Well, in my experience with the CSUN, California State University of Northridge, we do have a lot of great students there, but unfortunately they don't make wise decisions. What we want to do is we want to harden our targets. We want to make sure that we take anything that's valuable and put that out of sight.
Other tips Officer Caplet recommends is to use common sense, stay vigilant, and to pay more attention to the surroundings instead of the smartphone screens. In Northridge, Julio Huerta, Valley View News.
Bruce Jenner's cell phone records were being sought after the fatal Malibu car crash he was involved in. The collision occurred shortly after noon on Pacific Coast Highway at Coral Canyon Road. 69-year-old resident Kim Howell was killed in the four-car accident. Howell's friends say the woman was a widow with no children. Jenner issued a statement calling the accident a tragedy and said he will cooperate with investigators.
Police say an Atlanta father has killed 4 people before taking his own life. Authorities say Cedric Prather shot his 2 children and his ex-wife. 2 more children unrelated to Prather were shot and wounded in the home. Police say he also killed a man identified as his ex-wife's boyfriend. The children ranged in age from 7 to 15. The surviving children were placed on life support.
Burbank Police Department is investing in new vehicles that will save the city money and lend a hand in reaching areas that are hard to patrol. Valley View's Jamie Pittenger has more on the story.
The Burbank Police Department is taking measures to lower the city's carbon footprint. The city has been given the green light on using electric motorcycles for their patrols. Electric vehicles have been gaining popularity due to their fuel efficiency and environmental benefits. The new electric cycles are in the testing process but have added features the current models do not. Traffic Bureau Sergeant Carrie Schilf shows some of these features and tells why the department feels the bikes are better.
More economical, but we feel it's more environmentally safe, and it's the wave of the future. It's the new technology.
These cycles only cost 2 cents a gallon in electricity compared to the 63 cents on their current models. However, the charge time and speed is being monitored daily, so officers will know how long they can patrol before heading back to the station. The daily logs will then be sent back to where the cycles were purchased, Hollywood Electrics. Harlan Flagg says the bikes will greatly benefit the officers.
They are allowing them to patrol areas on motorcycle that they were unable to before. Some of the off-road, more chaparral, rustic areas that they were only able to patrol by helicopter before.
The electric cycles also cost about $10,000 less than the ones currently being used by the police. The motorcycle's first 2 test runs were during the YMCA's Turkey Trot and while escorting the Burbank float in the Rose Parade in Pasadena. The Burbank Police Department has purchased 2 of these motorcycles so far, and after the proper testing, they'll hit the streets in about 3 weeks. In Burbank, I'm Jamie Pittenger, Valley View News.
An environmental group is asking governments and investors around the world to stop investing in oil, coal, and gas companies. The climate advocates known as 350.org are organizing what they call the Global Divestment Day on February 13th and 14th. Thousands of advocates in over 188 countries are demanding their institutions stop investing in what they say is dirty energy for economic and environmental reasons. Some scientists say the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere needs to be reduced. The online campaign has used 350 to represent a safe level of pollution.
Coming up, we will hear from a security officer about how to keep private information safe.
We'll also have the latest on the death of one college basketball's greatest coaches.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Can't let him make it. Dude, you better not be illegally downloading movies again. I don't want a virus on my computer. Seriously.
Yes!
Got it.
They got it. What an idiot.
When you rip off copyrighted material, someone could be ripping you off.
What the? Where's my money?
Enroll, we say. We want you to be okay. Enroll, we say. Take care. for every budget, so don't accept defeat. Now you can get covered and still buy me treats.
You take care of your pets. Now it's their turn to take care of you. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn about your health insurance options.
Look at these boots.
Man, those are nice. You should buy them.
Half the price of the real thing. Do you want them?
The production and sale of counterfeit goods cause more harm than meets the eye.
Get to work!
And the profits can fund organized crime.
So, do you want them?
Buying counterfeit products
No way.
is just not worth it.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play more. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
There have been lots of cases recently of people hacking their way through the cyber world.
One of CSUN's information security officers sits down with Jose Saenz to discuss how these cyber criminals are managing to break into any system.
Thank you, guys. Today I'm here with Information Security Officer Kevin Kursawinski. Kevin, how are you today? And thank you for coming over today. So Kevin, there's been a lot of issues recently, with the Target, data being hacked, Home Depot as well, Anthem Blue Cross, How is it possible that these big companies and corporations are getting hacked when, aren't they supposed to be like really secure, I would say, and, have that money to protect their customers' identity?
Well, it's a dangerous world out there. I mean, there's millions of hackers that want to do nothing but get access to your data and get access to large corporate data. And companies like Anthem and Target, they're extremely target rich, meaning they have millions and millions and millions of credit cards, they have millions and millions of social security numbers. So that's the reason that those companies are targeted on a daily or hourly basis by lots of very determined hackers. And there's also the human factor. There's people, well-meaning people that do, in some cases, dumb things. So in some cases, they leave a file in the wrong place. They leave a server unprotected, and that's usually what hackers exploit.
And usually, is it easy to identify these hackers, or is there any way to, see who hacked you? Or
generally, most hackers will leave a footprint. I mean, most companies, including CSUN, they do have monitoring systems that are across the network, across our servers. So generally, a hacker will leave some kind of a trace so that we know if something does indeed happen.
How important is network security right now, and will that change as technology advances?
It's like I said, it's kind of armorous. I mean, hackers get better and better, and so our job as information security in all areas is to keep up with the hackers. So what the latest tools are, what the latest FBI bulletins are on hackers. I mean, it's our role and our responsibility to keep up with all that.
And with so much technology out there, with a lot of things going wireless now, does that make it a lot easier for hackers, to get information from people?
Well, it does. I mean, but what you have to be, as a individual, and individuals are as responsible. Our best front line in information security is to have every faculty, staff, and student have enough information so that they can combat these hackers. And so the wireless that we have is encrypted with a high level of encryption. And so, we recommend that, you change your password on a regular basis, that, you use the encrypted wireless to use the technology that we provide to keep your information safe.
And then usually, who has a higher risk of getting hacked, or what mistake do people do?
Well, I think, one mistake people do is it's obviously they trust. So they'll get an email from a friend. That email will look innocuous. They'll open it up. They'll click on it. That takes them to a site that where their information could potentially be compromised. I mean, so part of my job is to be suspicious, and I encourage everybody to be suspicious about anything that they get. If it looks funny, if someone asks for your password, if someone asks for any type of your information, be very suspicious of any type of attempt to get some of your personal information.
All right, and that's it for today, Kevin. Thank you again for coming over, and
no problem.
It's been a pleasure having you here.
Now, with more on the world of sports, let's go to John Gripe.
Thanks, Courtney. Former University of North Carolina basketball coach Dean Smith has died at the age of 83. Smith spent 36 seasons as head coach for the North Carolina Tar Heels. He won 2 national championships, 17 conference championships, and led his team to 23 straight NCAA tournament appearances. Smith mentored dozens of NBA stars, including Michael Jordan. Jordan says his former coach always had a life lesson to share.
Understanding more about people, being respectful, being appreciative of the things that were given to me, and from that day on, I've kind of carried that along.
Smith finished his coaching career in 1997, retiring with 879 career victories. At that time, it was the most career wins for any college head coach. Authorities say they will not pursue domestic violence charges against the Carolina Panthers' Greg Hardy. The defensive end was in the process of appealing his conviction on charges he assaulted his former girlfriend, Nicole Holder. It is believed Hardy and Holder reached a civil settlement because she indicated she wasn't interested in testifying against Hardy in another trial. The San Diego Padres have signed free agent pitcher James Shields to a 4-year deal. ESPN reports the contract will pay Shields around $75 million, with an option for the club to keep him for a 5th year. The new deal would be the largest contract in Padres history. Shields recorded 14 wins and 8 losses last season with a 3.21 earned run average. He also appeared in 5 postseason starts for his prior team, the Kansas City Royals. Sports website Grantland.com has released its 3rd annual list of the worst Major League Baseball contracts. Among listed, outfielder Andre Ethier of the Dodgers will make $56 million over the next 3 years, even though he recently hasn't seen much time in the starting lineup. Angels' Albert Pujols also made the list. He's guaranteed nearly $200 million for the next 7 years. He played his worst season in 2013. New York Yankees' Alex Rodriguez holds the top spot, making over $20 million this season, despite being suspended all of last year for steroid use. Plus-size model Robin Lawley is the newest addition to the 2015 Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. She's a size 12, smaller than what the average woman wears, but it's still a big step in portraying a better body image in the media. Lawley won't be the only one showing her curves in this year's swimsuit issue. Model Ashley Graham wears a size 22 and will also be in a plus-size swimwear advertisement. Graham has modeled for Vogue and Harper's Bazaar magazine. The 27-year-old model says she wants to continue to be an inspiration for American women. That wraps up today's sports report. Here's Courtney and Ken.
Coming up in entertainment, a recap on this year's Grammy winners and performances, and a history lesson that takes us to the seas.
Yes, I am. Give it to him hard. No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stab me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
You guys going to my party on Friday?
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be crazy.
All right.
What's up, dude? I'm loving your jacket.
Don't be such a fag.
If you don't mean it, why say it? Words hurt. Think before you speak.
So Jamie, did you see Rihanna's dress? She kind of looked like she was going to a quince.
I did, but I honestly thought she looked like a cupcake. But did you see Madonna's outfit?
I didn't know.
She dressed up as a matador, showing some CSUN pride without even knowing it. Sam Smith, Beyonce, and Beck were the big winners at this year's Grammys. Smith went home with 4 awards, including Best New Artist and Record of the Year for his song Stay With Me. Beck won Album of the Year for Morning Glory, coming as a bit of a shock to some. Kanye West told E! Network after the ceremony he believes Beck should have given the award to Beyonce. Beyonce did win 3 awards, making her the second most honored woman in Grammy history. Most of the show was musical performances, many being duos and collaborations. Rihanna and Kanye shared the stage with Paul McCartney, singing 4-5 Seconds. Sia sang her hit Chandelier while actress Kristen Wiig danced alongside. The night ended with Beyonce performing Take My Hand Precious Lord, leading up to John Legend and Common's rendition of Glory from the movie Selma. This year's Grammy proved to be a shocker to many, with Beck taking home the honor of Top Album of the Year. CSUN students were divided about this year's winners.
I actually haven't heard of Beck, but I've always been a Beyonce fan. I feel like she's really like a well-known artist, so I think she should have won.
Actually, I do know who Beck is, and quite frankly, like I like, the music. I think it's really nice. And Beyonce has been around for a very long time, coming from Destiny's Child and went to solo and all that stuff. I mean, personally, I like her, but I just feel like, like she's won so many awards over the years, just give some of the new people a chance.
I haven't heard it. I love Beck. I've heard one song and it wasn't very good. Beyonce's new album is probably one of the greatest albums that's ever come out in my generation. And Beyonce's probably one of the greatest artists that have ever come out in my generation.
Have you heard the Sam Smith album, and do you think he should have won all those Grammys?
I honestly have heard like 4 or 5 songs of his, and I think he's a pretty good artist. Like I haven't heard the whole album, but from what I've seen, he deserves it, considering like Beyonce's always been around, so might as well give it to someone new.
The Recording Academy paid tribute to Joan Rivers during its ceremony. Rivers was awarded the Grammy for Best Spoken Word Album for her reading of her final memoir, Diary of a Mad Diva. Rivers went up against James Franco, Elizabeth Warren, and others. The late entertainer's daughter, Melissa, and grandson Cooper accepted the Grammy on behalf of the legendary comedian. This was her first Grammy win. From rivers to oceans, there may be a good reason for Californians to head to the docks in the near future. Valley View Samantha Benitez takes us to Ventura County for a first-hand view at 2 historical tall ships.
It may still be winter, but that doesn't mean it's too early to head to the coast. Over 1,000 people arrived to Ventura Harbor Village to check out the tall ships known as Hawaiian Chieftain and Lady Washington. The Dockside Tours offers a living history experience by giving an authentic 18th century sailor's view of traveling by tall ship. Autumn Garrity says the staff is knowledgeable and the experience is interesting.
It's actually our second time. We were here last weekend as well, and we wanted to come back.
Hawaiian Chieftain was built in Hawaii in 1988 and was originally designed for cargo trade among the Hawaiian Islands. Lady Washington is a full-scale reproduction of the original that was built in the 1750s. This was one of the first U.S. flagged ships to explore the west coast of North America. Guests are welcome to meet the ship's crew and learn about sailing during the dockside tours. 3-hour battle sails or 2-hour adventure sails with firing cannons and hoisting of the mainsails are also available. Captain Chris Anderson says these 2 ships have attracted plenty of attention.
Our battle sails have been booked solid this weekends that we've been here. Ventura's been really good to us, and really a lot of people, more people in Ventura than any other harbor in California.
These ships usually host over 8,000 school children a year. Ventura County student Brandon says he likes the modern day renovations to the ship.
I thought the cabin was pretty cool because like back then they wouldn't have GPSs and stuff like that. So because like now they can like point their position.
Lady Washington has also appeared in numerous movies and TV shows, including Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. The ships travel together along the California coast each year and stop at ports to provide a history lesson about life at sea during America's earliest years. The vessel will next stop at Channel Islands Harbor and will be open for public tours and 2-hour excursions. In Ventura, I'm Samantha Benitez, Valley View News.
The SpongeBob SquarePants film was the #1 movie at the box office, taking the spot from American Sniper. The SpongeBob movie Sponge Out of Water made $56 million in ticket sales. The film also brought in $27 million from international sales. American Sniper took in more than $24 million after 3 weeks at the top. Jupiter Ascending, starring Mila Kunis and Channing Tatum, came in third, bringing in $19 million. Santa Clarita, better known as Awesome Town, can add another attraction to their resume. Valley View reporter John Salas paid a visit to get a closer look at the sea life the city offers.
This crab and his friends are taking their talents up north. What most people don't know, even in the Santa Clarita Valley, is they have an aquarium. Owner of the aquarium, Tony Tamorian, says he wanted to be revolutionary.
I was always disappointed in the prices for some of the bigger aquariums. Quite expensive, sometimes $40.
Located on Arch Street, the New Hall Aquarium provides a sea environment free of charge to all visitors. Don't be fooled because it is a small aquarium. Visitors can still expect exotic creatures such as stingrays and sharks. Though the aquarium is free of charge, a $2 donation is expected from every visitor, and those donations will go a long way into building the future of the aquarium. Attracting more of a younger crowd, there is a fun room that includes games and coloring books if kids want to break away from venturing. Atreyu, who just spent his first visit at the aquarium, says he had one memorable part. If your intentions are to learn about these creatures, don't worry. Tamorian says the aquarium offers a lot for those interested in marine biology or for those who just want to learn. You never know who will be slithering by the aquarium, as these visitors got a special treat. Due to the aquarium being self-run, the aquarium is currently open 3 days a week for a few hours. One of the newest additions is the touch tank, where visitors can touch certain sea creatures. Big plans are in the works, such as expanding the area for more visitors and upgraded tanks so the creatures are visible at the bottom. For more information on hours and how to donate, you can visit the aquarium's website at newhallaquarium.weebly.com. In Santa Clarita, John Salas, Valley View News.
Rosie O'Donnell will be leaving The View after returning only 5 months ago. The host first left the show in 2007 after 1 season. O'Donnell told Entertainment Tonight she wants to focus on her family because of her divorce from wife Michelle Rounds. She also said she felt her strengths were not being properly used. There has been no word on who will replace O'Donnell, but Naya Rivera has been confirmed as a guest host by ABC and is expected to stay for several episodes. Actors Johnny Depp and Amber Heard had such a good time in their wedding, they decided to do it again. They got married twice within the last week. The couple's first wedding was an intimate ceremony at their home in West Hollywood. Depp then whisked Heard away to his Caribbean island, where 24 chairs were set up for the celebration. This is the first marriage for both stars. Depp was previously engaged to 3 women and was in a long-term relationship with Vanessa Paradis, who is the mother of his 2 children. That's all for entertainment. Back to you, Ken and Courtney.
A Florida woman gave birth to a 14-pound baby boy with little idea beforehand that baby would be that big.
They were like, oh my God, your baby weighed 14 pounds and 1 ounce. What? My baby weighed what?
Now I got a linebacker now instead of a fullback.
Baby Avery Ford set the record for the heaviest baby born in Florida, 14.1 pounds. Maxandra Ford says she didn't know she was pregnant until after the 3rd trimester. She was in labor for 18 hours. Avery has been in the intensive care unit since his birth on January 29th and will be sent home soon.
Thank you for watching Valley View News. I'm Courtney Williams.
And I'm Ken Harvey.